Thanks, Ben. Have a good.
The scourge of critical race theory is most acutely felt in our schools. Parents all over the country now see the evils being perpetrated by activist school boards and teachers. But how do you fight back outside of just pushing for things like more school choice? Joining me now is Corey DeAngelis, National Director of Research at the American Federation for Children. Corey, thanks so much for coming on.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Corey, it seems like we're at this point of inflection on education in America where people are waking up to what's not just going on right now, but what's been going on for a long time. And we all have heard the normal list of answers that conservatives and pro-school choice people have, charter schools and vouchers and things like that. It seems to me like this is a point, though, where a much bigger answer is required in order to meet the demands of parents who are absolutely infuriated with what they see. So what does that look like?
Yeah, I will say there aren't any perfect solutions, but the best solution that we have in front of us is school choice, or what I call funding students directly. And so you would allow families to take their children's education dollars to whatever educational institution works best for them, that aligns best with their values. And another benefit there is that it provides bottom-up accountability for the traditional schools to change their curriculum to align with families, because they wouldn't want to lose their children, those education dollars going forward. I know that's not the answer you're looking for, though, so I'll give you a couple of other approaches that we can take. One is take back the school boards. Families are already fighting back, and they're going into school board meetings and pushing back, and that's a great move in the right direction to make their voices heard. They also need to get involved in the school board elections. And one way to do that, and one way to make it more fair for families, is to align school board elections with general elections, as opposed to in random months during the summer, where you get low turnout and the teachers union takes over and essentially gets whoever they want into office or into the school board. So a way to putting the school board elections with the general election will increase turnout and increase the likelihood that conservatives will make their way into the school board.
You know, Corey, I've seen all sorts of background information, polling that's been done that illustrates today across the country a massive, and not even motivated by conservative or politically active parents, a movement of opposition to what they view as teachers' unions that put their kids' learning on the back burner during this entire past year and a half. What can be done to seize this opportunity to speak to a lot of people who haven't been politically engaged on these issues historically?
They should just be engaged in their school board meetings, and families are already doing that all across the country. But the solution here that families should have at the top of their list is school choice, or what I call funding students directly. If you don't like what's going on in your classroom, and you feel like your child is being indoctrinated or brainwashed, you should ask for your children's education dollars back so you can go somewhere else right away, and you don't have to wait years for change to happen. So I think that's the best solution. I think that's what families should have at the top of their list for what they should be asking for. Because, look, you might not be in the majority, and I think that if we want to live in a pluralistic society, we shouldn't force our views on the rest of the population in the public school system, and instead let people go to the schools that work best for them. Then you won't have force, you'll just have freedom.
You know, just quickly, I think one of the biggest problems that I've had during this whole thing was just learning how protected so many of these teachers are from any consequences for their actions that would get your average person in any other career fired, in terms of so many different instances of things we saw happen over the past year. Is there any way to have ramifications for teachers who have really just gone into a crazy direction and have said some really heinous things about the children, their parents, et cetera, that we've seen come out on social media and the like?
Well, unfortunately, as we've seen over the past year, in particular, the teachers' unions are a cause of a lot of the problems here. So you could have teachers opting out of the teachers' union, which has been made easier since the 2018 Supreme Court decision, the DeAngelis decision. But then also school choice will provide bottom-up accountability for the public school teachers to change how they engage with students in the classroom. And so there's some type of accountability built in that way. I also think transparency is really important, so pushing for bills that would require schools to just show what they're actually teaching so that sunlight can be the best disinfectant.
What a revolutionary concept, a right to know what they're actually teaching your children. Corey, thank you so much for coming on such an important topic.